two friends arrive at a restaurant. They greet the hostess and tell her that they have a reservation under Sarah's name. Disdainfully, the hostess says that there is no reservation under that name. She says that restaurant is for fine and fancy people. The young woman says she doesn't understand what the receptionist means, and her friend says the receptionist can't act like that. The young woman tells the receptionist to check again. But the receptionist says that the young woman had better go to the restaurant next door, because that restaurant is for people who dress well and that it is the best in town. The young woman says that this is precisely why she made the reservation there, and her friend says that this is absurd and that they can report the restaurant for this. The receptionist says that she has no problem with her friend and that she is very welcome. She explains that the problem is with Sarah because she is not dressed appropriately. Sarah tries to explain that she made the reservation 2 weeks ago, but she is interrupted by a couple who enter the restaurant without difficulty. The receptionist says that Sarah has to understand that these are the rules of the restaurant and that she is just doing her job. She tells the young woman to go to another restaurant. The friend says she won't go in without Sarah. Then the restaurant manager approaches and asks what the problem is. The receptionist explains that it is that young woman who wants to enter the restaurant dressed like that. The manager explains that the receptionist is right. Sarah asks if the women are thinking that she has no money. Then she takes her wallet out of her purse and puts it on the table for the women to see a bunch of money she has. Then the manager asks the girl's name and says she will check again. She says she will make an exception for the young woman to enter the restaurant. The receptionist is annoyed, but the manager says that everything is fine. Then the young women enter the restaurant. The receptionist asks why the manager did that, and the manager says that she wanted to get rid of the inconvenience right away and tells the receptionist to put them on a hidden table. Then the receptionist leads the young women to a bad table. Sarah says that the table is dirty and the receptionist says that cleaning the table is not her job. The friend says that it is absurd to make a reservation for a table like that, and on top of that, in the worst place. The receptionist says that the two should be thankful to have that table. And he tells the two to leave if they are dissatisfied. Then she walks away, leaving the young women talking to themselves. The girls, with no other choice, sit down at the table. Sarah starts to set the table, but her friend tells her to leave it to her, since they are there to celebrate Sarah's birthday. Sarah thanks her friend for being there with her. Her friend says that they will not let anything spoil Sarah's day. They comment that they don't understand how the best restaurant in town can treat customers like this. Then, finishing clearing the table, Sarah asks where the other friend they are waiting for is. The friend says she must be late as usual. Then the two smile. Minutes later, the other friend arrives at the restaurant. She says she is there for her friend Sarah's birthday. The receptionist says that the young woman must have got the wrong restaurant, because that restaurant is not for people dressed like that. The young woman says that the receptionist has no right to talk to her like that. The young woman enters the restaurant and the receptionist says that the young woman is very rude. Meanwhile, Sarah thanks her friends for their presence and asks the three of them to take a picture. Then the girls straighten up and pose for the picture. They say that the photo looks beautiful. Sarah comments that her friend took a long time to arrive. The friends say they are already hungry and Sarah decides to call the receptionist, who was serving another table, to place an order. The woman begrudgingly goes to serve them. Sarah says that they already want to order. Then the girls discuss the options and conclude that it is better to order a snack first to work up an appetite. Sarah says she wants to order a cake too since it is her birthday. She asks if she can put up a candle for them to sing happy birthday to. The woman dismissively says that she has observed that Sarah only buys cheap clothes and asks if she will really be able to afford them. She says it's a fancy restaurant. Sarah says that of course they will be able to afford it, otherwise they wouldn't have chosen that restaurant. The woman says she doubts this very much. She says that the girls should have ordered the cheaper dish. The woman leaves and the girls say that that woman is trying to ruin Sarah's day. But Sarah says it's okay and she's happy to be with her friends. Meanwhile, the receptionist complains to the manager that she can't stand poor people who want to act rich. She says that Sarah asked for a cake and she thinks it's better to bring a loaf of bread. The manager tells her to bring a cake, because from what she saw, Sarah does have money. Then, planning something, the receptionist says that Sarah will love the cake. Moments later, the owner of the restaurant arrives and says he was there to celebrate his girlfriend's birthday. The manager says she didn't know that the boss had a girlfriend and asks what her name is. The man says he didn't speak because he didn't want them to treat his girlfriend better than anyone else. Then he says her name is Sarah. The manager asks him to accompany her. Meanwhile, the receptionist comes bringing Sarah's cake and her friends start singing happy birthday. Sarah thanks her friends. The receptionist says Sarah deserves it and throws the cake in her face. The confusion begins and the owner of the restaurant sees everything and asks what is going on. The receptionist says that's what that poor girl deserves for wanting to be in a place that doesn't belong to her. Sarah explains that since she arrived, the receptionist has been humiliating her and she doesn't understand why. Her friends defend Sarah. The receptionist says she just did her job. The man says that his restaurant is the best in town and should treat anyone well. He says he didn't hire her to work by discriminating against people. The receptionist says she was only following orders from the manager. The manager defends herself by saying that she didn't give any orders. The receptionist says that she is lying, but the manager says that it was all the receptionist's initiative. The man says that the two are to blame as what they did to Sarah is unacceptable. Sarah says she is fine and just needs to get cleaned up, but the man says the two are fired. Sarah tells the man to calm down. She says that no one needs to be fired. She says that they can work it all out and that the two of them need to learn to treat people right. She says that she shouldn't have been disrespected just because of her clothes and that she is not obligated to always walk around tidy, even more so in the restaurant that will also be hers. She says that they are going to get married. The receptionist apologizes, but Sarah says it's not enough and that they have to promise to change their attitude, because they will be fired if they don't. The manager apologizes to them both for what happened and promises it won't happen again. The receptionist says that they will change and just need a chance. Sarah says that's good enough and tells the two to leave. Then they leave apologizing. Sarah apologizes to her friends for the inconvenience. Her friends say that Sarah was too nice and that they would have fired them both. Sarah says that it's over now and she doesn't want to stress about it. The man hugs Sarah and her friends say they will help her get cleaned up. Sarah tells her boyfriend not to worry and leaves with her friends to the bathroom to clean herself up.